The more I watch this video, the dumber it gets, and the more I kind of love it. Ray Glebby. No, but it was weird. I'll leave it like this. Hola, my friends. This is Sal Montes, and welcome back to my channel. Now, as of the time of recording, I'm about to publish an update video where I thank all of you for watching and supporting the channel, as well as give you a bit of an update for the upcoming weeks, the upcoming summer. And in that video, I did mention that the next video that should be coming up is the finale for the If the NHL Was Scripted series. Now, that is coming up in a couple of days, hopefully, but I forgot that I really wanted to make this video, so here we are. We're gonna do it. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna rank the schedule releases for each of the 32 NHL teams. Just FYI, I have seen all these posts already, and I've written down some notes on my laptop to help me follow along as we rank each team. I won't be showing any of the videos so we don't get in trouble with YouTube, but don't worry, in editing I will be including screenshots to help y'all follow along. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so let me give you a quick rundown of the tiers first. First off, we have Didn't Even Try. Those are the teams who maybe published a link without even including a graphic that shows the dates of the games next season. I'll talk about some of those teams once we get there. Next up is Sometimes Less is More. There were a couple teams who really swung on these schedule release posts, and they kind of struck out in my opinion. So maybe they could have done better with just doing a nice little graphic with each month showing the dates. Speaking of which, that's the next tier. Boring, but does the job. You know, I ideally want to see these posts actually show the dates of next season's games. So if it's just a graphic that shows that, you know, it does the job. After that, we have Getting There. So these are when teams are starting to get a little bit more creative. They are showing some of the dates, and you know, you can really appreciate the amount of effort or work that these teams went through to publish these posts. Next tier up, we have Give Admin a Raise. I originally thought about making this a top tier, but you know, I'm feeling generous. Let's give more admins a raise. So that's the next tier. These are the ones who were very clever, who included maybe a lot of dates for next season's games, and we're just very creative overall. And then the top tier is going to be schedule release winners. I kind of already have some in mind, to be honest with y'all, but we'll talk more when we get there. So starting off with the Anaheim Ducks. So the Anaheim Ducks, they did a link with a graphic that has some of the key dates for next season. I can see their home opener, the opening night, also the freeway face-off games against the LA Kings. You know, doesn't give a lot of dates, but it gives some of the main ones, especially the freeway face-off games, which are pretty important. It's going to be a boring, but does the job. I really wish they'd done a little bit more, considering they just rebranded and had these really cool new uniforms. So it's just kind of a missed opportunity. Alright, so I tried to change this to the Utah Hockey Club logo, but I couldn't figure out how. So we're gonna fix it in post, don't worry about that. But Utah, we have a video where Zamboni driver goes around the rink and some checklist items get checked off, including the home opener, the first ever game event against Chicago. It's a little boring. I wanna say that I'm gonna go with Sometimes Less is More. The reason why I'm going with that is because the video didn't give me a lot of what Utah Hockey Club is. There's not a lot of personality, unfortunately, which kind of makes sense since they're still looking for their name. But the other thing is, I believe that half of the dates were unavailable for fans to see at release. They had some kind of bug where they just wouldn't show the latter half of the season. So I would have rather they gone for a nice little graphic showing every single one of the games. Next up, we have the Boston Bruins. Now, Boston did a skit of Marchand and some of the players going to see a Patriots player, David Andrews, the center for the Patriots. They got kind of a lesson, and afterwards there were some clips of players on vacation. It's a little boring. I thought it was a little boring. It is cute to see some of the players on vacation, especially with their dogs, with their families. It's very nice. It's also kind of funny to see, I believe Jeremy Swayman is on it. So I don't know when this was filmed, but fans seem to be pretty excited that that bodes well for a future new contract for Swayman. So Boston, they do release a full schedule graphic at the end of the video and one afterwards in a different post. So I am gonna go with a little boring, but does the job. Especially because, I don't know, if you've seen their TikTok, like they come up with some really funny stuff. So I wish they could have done a little bit better with this one. The Buffalo Sabres. So the Buffalo Sabres did this kind of like group chat thing where they're all saying how excited they are for the scheduled release, and then they eventually do show a graphic with all the scheduled dates. I'm gonna go with sometimes less is more for the Buffalo Sabres because, again, I really wish they would have included or highlighted the dates more prominently in the video. So I will go with sometimes less is more. Next up, we have Calgary, which I already know Calgary is one of my favorites, actually. So if you haven't seen the Calgary one, it is Michael Backlund's daughter, Tilly, who invites some of her friends from school over to the Saddle Dome, and they try and guess the names of the different teams that they're shown. And some of them are very, very funny. They call the Flyers the Bananas. When the Chicago logo pops up, they call it It's the Chicago. And the Penguins were the France Penguins. I just think it's very cute. I think it's very funny. So I'm gonna go with give admin a raise. Whoever thought of this, I thought they did a very good job. They also included the dates to the games where these teams were being played, which again, that's one of the main criteria that I've been following with this tier list. Next up, we have the Hurricanes. So the Hurricanes also went for kind of a funny little skit. They showed the dates on the video, which I really appreciate. I also got Rod Brindamore at a grocery store trying to draw plays for shoppers. Overall, it's just funny. It might be a little like dry, kind of office humor. Let's see, is it getting there or give admin a raise? Right now, we're gonna try to balance it out and go with getting there, but we might do a revision later on in the tier list. After that, we have Chicago. So Chicago was, I guess, kind of a bit of a controversial one based on the comments. They're playing Guess Who, and they did it with kind of chirps and jokes at other teams, such as, you know, Utah not having a name. I thought this was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty clever. There were a couple lines where I definitely thought they went maybe a little too far, like the New York Rangers one, where they're saying how they're looking for a man in finance, trust fund, blue eyes. That was a little too much. So I can't say it's boring because I did enjoy it. I could see it go sometimes less is more for some people. I'm gonna go and get in there. And you know what? Now comparing these two together, I kind of want to give this to give admin a raise just because I do think it's better than the Chicago one. Next up, we have Colorado. So Colorado, we had Bernie, who was building protective cases to throw eggs from the rafters. Each case was themed based around a different team that they're playing. Again, they included the dates. It was creative, you know. I thought it was a pretty fun little video. I think I'm gonna go with getting there because I think it is in that level with Chicago where it's pretty good. It definitely does the job and it's more than creative enough to not be boring, but I can't put it right where the Flames and the Canes were. Then we have the Columbus Blue Jackets. Okay, so the Columbus Blue Jackets, when I tell you, Columbus, when I first saw this one, I was definitely thinking of putting this on sometimes less is more because I just didn't get it. I thought it was really stupid. I thought, you know, it looks very messy, like poor person whoever has to clean that up because they are rolling these jars full of things downstairs. So the Florida one, for example, has a mini Stanley Cup and some rats and sand. For the different teams, there's different colored powders representing their team colors or paints. And they show the dates, so that's points for them. The more I watch this video, the dumber it gets, and the more I kind of love it. Especially because at the very end where they go with the Penguins, the person filming this video, instead of letting the jar roll down the stairs, just yeets the jar down, like just gives it a big old kick. And it's so funny. It really does the job for me. So right now, I think it is one of the schedule winners. It keeps getting dumber and funnier the more I watch it. Next up, we have the Dallas Stars. So Dallas also did a bit of a Buffalo thing where they had some of the players come in and do a bit of a web chat. Then the marketing team started to Photoshop the players' heads into stock photos. It was pretty funny. I liked it enough so that it's not that boring. And I think what really sells it for me is there's one screenshot of this video where they Photoshop Jason Robertson's head into someone grilling, and I just think that's like great meme material. I just can see it already. So for that, I think it's getting there. You know, I don't think it's that funny compared to the dry humor of the Canes ones or the cuteness of the Calgary ones. So it's definitely getting there. So the Red Wings did something that automatically gives them a lot of points, which is they centered their video around dogs. So Alex Lyon, who apparently said his dream job would be to be a bus driver for dogs a couple months ago, he can't make it. So this other person, apologies to Red Wings fans, I'm not familiar with who this is. So if you do know, please let me know, because I've been trying to find in the comments and nobody's saying who it is. But the bus driver goes around town picking up different cute dogs as the dates for the different teams pop up. The teams and the dogs don't really correlate in some way that I can tell, but it's dogs. It is getting there for me. Yeah. I think overall it is good. It's a little bit of a step down from the Wes Anderson video that they did, I think either last year or 2 years ago with George. That was like very funny. And George is in this video too, so shout out to George. Next up we have the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, so this unfortunately is going to be a really quick one. The Oilers didn't even try. They decided to post a little picture of the team on the ice with a link saying, hey, go check out our schedule here. Didn't give out any dates on the graphic, no videos, nothing like that. So yeah, it was boring. I wish they would have done something different. Next we have the Florida Panthers. Florida, I know they released the different months as graphics, including the dates of the games. Again, that is going to be a boring, but does the job. I'm glad that, a Florida fan can go in and check each date to see when they're playing. The LA Kings, okay, so let me talk about the LA Kings for just a minute. The LA Kings The LA Kings posted this video of like a detective doing detective work to find where the Stanley Cup is. So the video is titled "On the Hunt for Lord Stanley," assuming that the Kings are looking to get through this regular season, go on to the playoffs, and be contenders. I just want to say, are the contenders in the room with us right now? Because after that free agency, I don't see it. It's super well produced. They have a lot of funny chirps for the different teams. It's just overall so nicely done. I just wish the Kings were in a much better position to actually make something like this and not get kind of trolled at. So the LA Kings, they're gonna be getting there for me, just because the whole where they are right now really brings them down a tier. I think if they had a better free agency, I would have definitely seen them go up to give admin a raise. So next up we have the Minnesota Wild, which is a really fun one, where we have Jake Middleton and Brock Faber. They're riding rides at an amusement park while the dates of the different games are being overlaid. I didn't catch this on my first viewing until I saw this on the comments, but it's really cool that they kind of try to match some of the rides with the teams that they were showcasing. I saw that they had a little octopus ride with the Seattle Kraken. They also had a little old-timey car ride with the Detroit Red Wings. So not super perfect overall, the references, but I thought they did such a good job. They really captured like really fun vibes. They included a lot of game dates. So for that, give admin a raise. I think the Minnesota Wild did really, really well with this release video. We have Montreal. Okay, so Montreal is kind of an unfortunate one where they have Valtteri Bottas. He is an F1 driver. I'm not a fan of F1, so I'm very unfamiliar with him, unfortunately. And they have him do a little gag where they have the schedule scroll past really fast by him. I think sometimes less is more for the Canadiens ones. They could have definitely included him in some manner and it would have been really fun. But it's, you know, I have to pause to check the actual dates of the games because it's going by so fast. I wish maybe they could have just gone with some kind of graphic so it's a little bit more convenient in that sense. Let's see, next up we have the Nashville Predators. So for Nashville, we have Nash coming into Bridgestone to set up sort of like a music gig, and he unboxes these shirts that are like those tour shirts that you see for bands where it shows all the different cities and all the different dates where they're playing at. I thought it was really clever. It's a really nice way of incorporating the city culture around it. The shirts are really cool. I just wish they would have maybe zoomed in a little bit more so that you could actually see the dates. I don't believe they posted another graphic with the dates on them, so if this is it, I think it's getting there. Next up we have New Jersey. Now, y'all know it, I know it. New Jersey is probably the winner of the schedule release posts. I don't think I have to say much aside from Douglas D. Admin. For those of you who don't follow the Devil's socials that often, there's a weird running joke that Dougie Hamilton is the social media admin. I just think it's such a funny running joke, and the Devil's social team really like lay into it so much. It was just so well produced. The line deliveries were so funny. If you haven't seen it, go check it out because it's really worth it even if you're not a Devils fan. Next up we have the New York Islanders. So the Islanders, they do this cool little as seen on TV ad where they're presenting the next season's schedule. You know, it's unfortunate because I want to say it's getting there because it is pretty creative, but it doesn't include the dates. I'm looking at it right now. I don't see any dates included on this video, and that's one of my key critiques. I want to see the dates incorporated in some way. So I'm gonna have to say sometimes less is more, just because I wish they could have stepped it up a little bit. But I do appreciate the effort in a way. New York Rangers did a video of fans cheering to announce the release of the video and didn't include any dates. Now let's see, these guys included dates. They included, these didn't, these did, these didn't. So I think they still tried a little bit more, at least with the video, than the Oilers. So we'll go with sometimes less is more, do a graphic next time or include the dates in some way. That would be very nice. Moving on to the Ottawa Senators. So the Sens did this thing where the social media team, I'm guessing, went to the Great Glebe garage sale. I'm not familiar with that. I'm not from Ottawa, so if anyone, any Sens fan on the comments wants to give more insight on that, feel free. But I like this one. This is another kind of cute one where they went around and found things related to the teams they were playing, like an oil filter for the Oilers, a saddle for the Flames. Overall, I think they did a good job. They incorporated so many dates with this one, which I really appreciate. So it has to be in give admin a raise. Yeah, I really like this one, and it looks like they put a lot of effort looking through all of these garage sales to find stuff that actually match pretty nicely with the team. So good job, Ottawa. I like this one. Next up we have Philadelphia. So it was also just a graphic of the different months with the dates, kind of like Florida. So it's gonna go with boring, but does the job. Same with the comments I had on Anaheim. The January game between these two teams is going to be explosive. I can't wait to see it. I wish they could have hyped it up a little bit more. Okay, next up we have Pittsburgh, and we have Big Jeff Carter riding his lawnmower over the envelope that includes the next season's schedule. I have a kind of a soft spot for Jeff Carter because I started watching the NHL in 2014, and that's the year that the Kings went on their run to win their second Stanley Cup, and I'll never forget, for me, how iconic that was. And Jeff Carter was obviously a huge part of it. He then went on to the Pittsburgh Penguins, who is the other team I cheer for. So it was kind of fun to see him in that. He definitely didn't play as well as he used to with the Penguins. But, you know, I like him all the same. Now, this doesn't include any dates in the video, which is very unfortunate. So I'm gonna give it sometimes less is more. Again, like, give me something. I do want a little bit more from the Penguins to actually be able to incorporate the dates in a fun way. So the San Jose Sharks did kind of a disappointing video in my opinion, where they're at an airport showing a luggage conveyor belt, and behind them is a screen showing some of the bigger games happening this season, such as I believe Joe Thornton's jersey retirement, that kind of stuff. You know, you just won the #1 pick. You got Macklin celebrating. It's a new era for the Sharks coming up with some of these fantastic prospects they have. You know, you could hype this up a lot better, in my opinion. So again, sometimes less is more. Maybe do like some cool graphic or a cool video with the dates that showcases, hey, we have these awesome new prospects. And I do believe the Sharks did publish a post with the graphic and all the dates. I don't know, maybe they even included the prospects in there. I can't remember right now. But they could have done a lot better with the position that they're in right now. Next up is the St. Louis Blues. I had such high hopes for St. Louis. We have the intern Dylan, who does kind of a janky little release video where he's saying, hey, I'm left all alone at the offices of the team and I kind of have to pull something together very quickly. I love the jankiness of it, and I really wish it could have kept going like that. I understand, like, maybe they had to come up with something. Unfortunately, that something did end up being AI images, which, you know, takes some points off for me, just because some of them are just really weird and not that good or that clever, in my opinion, which is such a shame because I think Dylan is very funny. If they would have went away from the AI images and just done the logo of the team and had Dylan literally say the exact same thing and do the exact same jokes, I would have probably gave the admin a raise. But as it stands right now, it's just gonna be is it sometimes less is more? Let's see, they gave the dates to the team. Yeah, they gave the dates to the game. So is it getting there? I think it's getting there. It definitely would have been give admin a raise without the AI images. So I can't knock it down further than just like the one. Tampa Bay Lightning. So Tampa had another like really awesome one where they did a Wes Anderson inspired release video. I think I saw some people call it cringe. Some might have even said, you know, you could have just done a graphic. I personally really liked it. They listed a bunch of teams and a lot of dates, which is a huge plus in my opinion. It's very well produced. It's really well done. I'm gonna give admin a raise for this one because of how awesome it looks and how, you know, they have movie posters for some of them for the different teams. I think the St. Louis one was in like a kind of stained glass background or like on the wall. Like, it looks so well done. No, the New Jersey one, that's the one, my bad. It's just so well done. So I have to give admin a raise for that. Probably could have been a scheduled release winner if a couple years ago Detroit hadn't also done the Wes Anderson theme. Also the life at the bottom for the Sharks, I don't know if that was intentional, but it was very, very funny. Next up we have Toronto. So I already know Toronto is gonna go down to the didn't even try, unfortunately. They did the same thing as the Oilers where they just did a little graphic. This one didn't even have their players on it. It's just the center ice logo and saying, hey, go check out the new schedule on the website and also buy tickets. I I know there's a lot going on with Toronto at all times, but it would have been very nice to see something a lot more fun. Vancouver Canucks. So this is a bit of a controversial one. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, this looks awesome. It's a Netflix-inspired video where they basically take the Netflix setup where you can see the different shows and see previews of movies. And I thought it was awesome at first because they included a lot of references to different movies, like the Blues Brothers, but with the Hughes brothers. Like, I just thought it was really well done. Again, with St. Louis, it kind of gets a bit of a notch down because they do use some of the AI images for the videos and stuff like that. Like, I think they overlaid some of the players' faces on top of movie actors. So that's a little unfortunate. It sucks because it's so creative. I do think it's like really well done. I love all the Easter eggs of the different movies. I'm gonna go with Getting There because it really is it Give Admin a Raise? I'm gonna keep it with Getting There because I don't think it was the level of dumb and funny as Columbus, and I don't think it was as perfect as the New Jersey one, so I don't think I would have put it at scheduled release winners. I think it was a Give Admin a Raise for sure. And then, like St. Louis, it gets 1 point off, taken off. But again, just super well done, super well produced. So the Vegas Golden Knights, it's another kind of boring one. They did include the different graphics for the months showing the games. I do appreciate that they gave a wallpaper version of it for phones. It is going to be boring, but does the job though. Nearing the end, we have Washington. So Washington, if I can remember right now, all of these have done videos, and nothing that hasn't had a video has been Getting There or above. If they only did like a graphic, I think they've been below here. Washington though, I really like their graphic. It's gonna be their 50th anniversary season coming up, so they did this old-timey hockey kind of graphic, and when you go in, and it's the 4-grid image. When you go in, you actually get the different months with the dates of the games, which I think it's very appealing. I like the theme of it, so I have to go with Getting There. I didn't think I was gonna put one without a video that was creative or anything like that in this category, but I really think they did very well. And to close it out, we have the Winnipeg Jets. Someone in this video is pretending to get like hit during a clip of a game, or like there's a second video posted where Connor Hellebuyck squirts his water bottle at the audience and he ends up getting wet by the water. It's creative, I'll give you that. It's not like any of the other ones that I have seen. It didn't give out any dates, and it's also still just kind of confusing to me, so it's gonna have to go, and sometimes less is more. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's gonna be it. Let's see if we have any changes that we want to make. So we have the schedule release winners. I definitely agree, Columbus and for sure New Jersey. Give Admin a Raise. Calgary was super cute, gave out plenty of dates. Carolina was just kind of dumb, but I appreciated the dry humor, and including Rod Brindamore in it was great. Wild was great. The Sens was another one that looked like a good amount of effort that I really appreciate. And yeah, Tampa's was just beautiful. It was really, really well done. Getting There. Yeah, Chicago, basically the ones with the videos for the most part made it here that could have done a little bit better. I know Chicago's a little cringy for some. I enjoyed it. Colorado was creative. Dallas has some meme material for sure. The Detroit Red Wings, you know, you can't go wrong with puppies or dogs. It's just an automatic like good grade. The Kings. I can't say that it was boring, so that's why I'm not putting it down here. I could make the argument for sometimes less is more, but I'm not gonna grill them that bad right now. The Preds, again, I wish I could have seen the tour t-shirt up close because it looked like an awesome t-shirt. I'd definitely wear one of those. St. Louis, shout out to Dylan. You did the most with with what you could. It was a really funny one. Vancouver, same thing with St. Louis, where like they're almost there. And Washington, a bit of a surprise. I like that. You know, these. Oh, I forgot that Boston did do a video, and it was more of a boring, but that's the job. Yeah, I didn't get much out of the video that Boston published, unfortunately. I think that's why I decided to put it here. But they did release the full graphic, so you know, I appreciate that. You can find that on their social accounts. Same with Florida, Philadelphia, Vegas. Just regular old graphics. Sometimes less is more. Yeah, the Utah one was a little boring, unfortunately. Buffalo, I didn't get fully, but you know, it is what it is. You know, did Buffalo release a graphic? I think Buffalo released a graphic. I think Buffalo did release a graphic. So in that context, I think I have to move it up just because of Boston. Because these other. No, but it was weird. I'll leave it like this, because Montreal is the same thing. They did give out dates. So giving out dates isn't necessarily the end all be all. Buffalo and Montreal, they gave some dates as graphics or within the Montreal video, but could have definitely done more. The New York team still lacked a lot more practicality with the dates. Penguins was funny. I appreciate Big Jeff Carter, but no dates. San Jose was just boring. You gotta do more with the coming season that you're having. And then Winnipeg just confused me. I'm still so confused. And then, yeah, Oilers, Leafs, didn't even try. Just the link to check out their schedule, which it is what it is. Hey guys, Future Sal here. So I just got done editing this video when I realized that I completely skipped over the Seattle Kraken. I don't know how that happened. The original list didn't include the logo, and I didn't think to double check that, so my apologies to Kraken fans for not doing that. So to get my quick thoughts on the Kraken, they did something similar to the Rangers where they did a hype video, including footage from fans on the stands, actual gameplay footage, which looks pretty neat. It was really well produced. It doesn't include any dates in the actual video, but below the post, it actually includes a full graphic with every single game date for the upcoming season. So because it does include the graphic in the comment section of that same post, I'm gonna have to rank it a little bit higher than Buffalo and New York, who did separate posts with their videos and their full schedule releases. I'll also put it in a similar tier as Boston, because Boston also had a video and briefly showed the schedule at the very end of that video. And to me, putting it in the comments kind of serves the same purpose as the Boston one, so we're gonna put it in that same tier. So yeah, I have no idea how long this video is gonna be. Hopefully it's not that long. I had a lot of fun doing it and just kind of giving you my opinions on the different scheduled releases. This is by no means the correct list. These are just my opinions of the ones that I thought were particularly funny and enjoyable to watch. If y'all have a different opinion, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. I would really love to see what your perspectives are on the scheduled releases from last week, if you thought differently than me. If you enjoyed a team that I ranked low, or if you thought the one that I ranked high was not that enjoyable, let me know. I want to know what y'all thought of the schedule releases. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And remember, kindness is free to give, so go out and spread some of it today.